Today I'm going to answer your questions, or most frequently asked questions about QA job or a QA career that you all did ask on our YouTube channel in the comments just like below this video. So let me quickly introduce myself and then we're gonna get started. My name is Sergey Kramchenko. I'm a QA engineer, lead manager, and a senior engineering manager of SDET in the past. These days I'm helping people like you to become a QA engineer or an SDET from scratch, or to improve your existing skills. Awesome, now we got to know each other. Let's kick it off and answer your most commonly asked questions. How many students find jobs these days? Like, when was the last case when someone found a job? 2 to 3 days ago, we got a one from Texas, $96,000 full-time job, if I'm not mistaken, Dallas, Texas, or Austin, Texas. Before that, day ago, we got another job offer, and 2 days ago, we got another job offer from Colorado or Georgia, I don't remember, but either way. Lately, we did have quite a few job offers coming over from our students, and honestly, I was shocked because now it is an election time. I did not expect the market to be that good, but it is actually really good, and a lot of our students going through interviews or getting job offers. So let's get into the next question. I love your videos and tips. Could you give examples of how technical challenges work? Best regards from Brazil, from Fernanda Freitas. Well, thank you for your question, Fernanda. Number one, how do technical challenges work? There are two ways to go. First one is, usually after you go through a round of interview with the HR, they could possibly send you a homework technical challenge or homework assessment, where you're gonna go to a website, or maybe you'll have to download zip file, work with the files that you have, maybe even start a server, and then solve the problems that you have, or potentially write the automation test for that server. It depends what company usually asking, but the two most common cases are where you have to write some code to solve some algorithm challenges, or that you have to run the server just like you would do on your local, which is quite technical, but I'm going to leave a link for the video which is related to it right here, where you would run the server on your local and then you would write tests for some of the functionality of that API server or even a website. Next question from the Kibon. Great video. I have a question about an internship with a startup. Is it a real startup company or a dummy startup for students to just get experience generally? No, that's not a dummy one. Both of them, we have actually two startups for you guys, and here we go. Number one, you need to learn how things should be set perfectly. So that's why we are working with a couple of startups. First one is somewhat preset for you, so you would learn things in the best way possible. Soon after you've learned how things supposed to work, you're gonna join dynamic startup where you will be able to talk to software developers. You're gonna be chat with them, jump on the sprint planning, talk to a product manager, or even a CEO of the company sometimes on that sprint planning. So you will have two startup experiences if you do join our bootcamp. Let's continue. Comify. No matter if you choose manual course or a full course, the internship is the same process as mentioned above. That is correct. I'm sorry for all of the questions. I've been researching bootcamps, and the key points are not mentioning you have to be asking questions, then you find out the real deal. So sorry for so many questions. Not a problem at all. I'll be more than glad to answer all of your questions, guys. So that is correct. Whenever you go through a manual course or a full course, in a manual course, it's much shorter. So you're still gonna get two startups, but it's going to be a shorter period of time. When you're gonna go through the full course, you're gonna go through the manual, and then you're gonna go through 3 months and a half on the top of that, which totals into 5.5 months, or to be exact, 22 weeks. So within 22 weeks, you're gonna get an insane amount of experience. And by the way, guys, here's the thing. You're gonna be joining startup from day one, not at the end of your education like it's done in most of the bootcamps. Day one, I'm dropping you in a startup so you could learn things in a hard way, not in an easy way, but you gotta work your ass off if you do want to change your life. It's not like you study for 2 months, you ask a couple of questions, and you get 100K. No, that does not work. You do have to work your ass off, you do have to put a lot of time and effort in order to change your life. It's not easy peasy like this, but if you wanna do it, you can do it. As simple as that. Next one. One last question, I promise. Same K-Bond. I see the refund policy is 14 days. Does that include using affirm or Klarna, or is the refund only if paid full upfront? Great question. For those who do not know, affirm or Klarna are financial institutions that you can take a student loan or kind of student loan through our website. We're not related to them. They're just paying for your course to us, and you're paying them money back. So we do not have any power over them. So if you take a loan with them, there is no refund policy because we cannot pull money back from them. So FYI, we are actually going to be removing this refund policy completely, because right now we do offer 1-week introduction course where you guys can study for an entire week, and only then you decide if you like it, if you like education, if you like startup experience for an entire week, if you do like me as the main mentor and our entire team, then you proceed so you don't have to ask for your money back. You try it, you buy it. You tried it, you don't like it, moving on. Anyways, even if you choose not to sign up for the course, if you have any questions, you can always ask them under any of our videos, and I'll be more than glad to answer any of your questions. Alrighty, and one of the other ones. I'm going to start the course in the next batch. I've decided to do it. Will I find a job in 24-25? I wonder. Please update the video. Also, I need to update on the students who finished the course on Thursday. What are the job prospects looking like? Thank you. So a couple of questions, let me answer the first one. Will I find a job in 24-25? I did tell you, oh actually I didn't tell you. One of our groups this summer ended up getting 80% of the group getting job offers 2 months after the end of the education, which is quite insane for 2024, because people say IT is dead, people are not getting jobs, people are getting laid off. BS. People are getting jobs, but the thing is, if you are underqualified, you cannot get a job, and majority of people are. Honestly, I did recently start looking for a QA automation engineer mid-level in Mexico. Can you guess how many applications I got? 50. Can you guess how many people were from Mexico out of those 50? 30. Can you guess how many of 30 were overqualified or underqualified? 20. So I've left out with 10 people only who are somewhat legit. Majority of them couldn't speak English very well. Majority of them did not have much experience, as I did ask them for. So I've ended up with a couple of guys, and I still did not hire anyone yet. I'm still looking for a mid-level QA automation engineer. So if you're the one from South America, you hit me up by sending your email to this email address, support@komify.com. So, 2024-2025 looking good so far, because within the last week we got 3 job offers. This summer, 80% of the group got a job offers in 2 months. That's quite insane, guys. Usually it doesn't happen that way, but market is looking good so far. I don't know what's gonna happen after the election. I don't know who's gonna become a president of the United States, but we're gonna see it. I cannot promise you anything good or bad. We're gonna see what's gonna happen soon. And the next one, you always say QA engineers, SDETs, QA automation engineers. Are those the same or different? I'm going to leave a link right here for a full video, but QA engineers are very likely doing either manual or automation, or both. QA automation engineers usually are doing only QA automation. Sometimes they do manual testing as well. SDETs are usually, not always, a QA automation engineers that are more concentrated on test automation. The official definition of the QA engineer is the person who can do both manual and automation. QA automation engineer is the one that does only automation. And SDET, it's not even a QA, it's a software developer who can do some of the testing. So pretty much a software developer moved to test automation and does write the code, does create frameworks from scratch, does quite a few technical things. So those are official names, but a lot of times you guys will see even QA ninja titles. So titles don't matter much. You should always apply for a job if you see word QA, if you see word tester, or an SDET. There we go. I just don't get why the course is 8 weeks for the QA manual engineer, while other bootcamps have 17 weeks. So basically your course is cramping up all of the knowledge in a short time. 1 hour for questions and answers don't sound like much. I'm going to leave actually an answer of one of these people who took another bootcamp, the one you were talking about, and then joined our bootcamp, and I'm going to read it right now. I started my Komify bootcamp after realizing I was not ready to apply for a job after something bootcamp certification. I got some theoretical knowledge, but that was not even close enough. Komify is about 8 weeks of intense practice work in a real startup environment. We focus on a practical preparation for the interview from the very beginning. Instead of weeks and weeks of theoretical torture, you won't be able to apply during the interviews or during your future job. 1 hour webinar 3 times a week for 10 to 12 students max group, where every student has a chance to ask questions and practice, versus 1 3-hour theory webinar for 40 to 50 students, plus 1 hour QA session where you just listen to info that you can easily find on the YouTube completely for free. Readiness to help ASAP versus 90% of self-study. Commitment to land your job versus load you with theory, conduct 1 mock interview, and say goodbye. When I finished my previous bootcamp, I had loads and loads of academic knowledge. I could learn by myself with 0 confidence. I could land a job. 1 round of 45 minutes mock interviews was nothing to be prepared. On the second week with Komify, I feel much more confident and will start applying for a job in 1-2 weeks than I was at the end of other bootcamp. In a nutshell, if I had started with Komify last year, I would have landed a job a month ago. Sounds too good to be true? Do not hesitate to reach me on Instagram, and you guys can see his Instagram and a LinkedIn profile. We'll be happy to answer your questions. I think this guy did answer all of the questions that you guys have. If you have any more, feel free to leave them right below this video, and I'll be more than glad to answer any of your questions. And finally, guys, don't forget to drink water, get some workout, and get enough sleep. Everything else will come naturally. You have a good one, and we'll see you next time.